why a Proverbs 31 woman would be fit as hell and exactly how she would get there. I'm so excited to talk about this today. I was in church and I was thinking about how I now have a much larger capacity to worship God than I did before I became fit. Like, before I really committed to, like, my fitness goals and my health, I couldn't worship God like I can now. Like, I couldn't show up as the woman I wanted to be for myself, for the people around me, for God, for my future family. Like, I could not show up as the best version of myself when I was thinking about food all the time, or thinking about how insecure I felt in my body, or thinking about what my stomach looked like when I was raising my hands during worship. Like, come on, this is so sad. I couldn't go to Bible study without thinking about all the food that was gonna be out on the table in front of me, tempting me. I couldn't go to any social situation, and that's really important when you're a Christian, and when actually, that's just important in general to be able to go out in public and be, in society and not be thinking about food 24/7. So, we're gonna deep dive into this today, and I'm really excited. Obviously, I have to start by saying this is my interpretation of Proverbs 31 and what a Proverbs 31 woman would be like. So take this with a light heart. But I truly think that I've reached a point in my fitness journey where I've had goals to I've had every goal you can imagine, okay? I've had strength, I've had aesthetics, I've had performance. I've been through a lot of different fitness goals, and the one that I'm at now, which is to be as fertile as possible and to be as strong as possible in a way where food and workouts aren't dominating me. Like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. This is like a new level of peace, and a new level of peace that I've reached with my fitness goals, where it's really coming from a place of like, oh, I wanna live a long time. I wanna have really healthy babies. I wanna be able to cook my husband a steak, and I wanna feel so good about knowing exactly what nutrients I'm giving him and me and the family, and it's gonna be so good. This is where fitness gets so cool. When we decide that we're gonna become, like, the woman that we wanna be in every aspect of our family life, our social life, our church life, like, this is awesome. I'm really excited to talk about this. Yeah, I didn't used to be able to worship God in the capacity that I can now. Like, I can't tell you how good it feels to be present at church and to feel so just you can feel it physically. Like, when you're in church and you're connected to the song and the people around you, and your heart just opens up. Like, you just feel there's an energy there that just feels amazing. And I didn't feel that when I was thinking about what people were thinking about what I looked like. I didn't feel that at a Bible study when there would be a girl next to me talking about some life-changing moment in her life or something she was really struggling with, and I couldn't be there for her or help her or bring her closer to God because I was thinking about the plate of cookies that was sitting in front of me that I really wanted, but I didn't think I should eat because I didn't wanna gain weight. So sad. Come on. Come on. Your poor relationship with food and your poor body image is stopping you from fully becoming the God-fearing woman that Proverbs 31 is asking you to be, okay? And I know it sounds a little bit harsh, but I really wish someone would have said that to me. I really wish someone would have pointed out to me that, no, it's not just that you don't know what to eat. It's the fact that you are idolizing food because it's what you think about 24/7. That's the problem. It's the fact that you've become so narcissistic because of how insecure you are. All you can think about is what you're wearing, what people think of how you look, what your body feels like, how bloated you feel, how tired you feel, how gross you feel, how overweight you feel. That's all you can think about, and I don't think that that's really what you want to be thinking about, and I don't think that's what God wants you to be thinking about. Like, I don't really think that we are put on this earth to, obsess over, what we look like, what food we're eating, when, at what time. So, I'm gonna walk you through how to manage all of that so that you can really become the woman that you wanna be and not feel addicted to food, not feel like your appearance is everything. But that being said, I do think appearance does matter. And so that's where this topic gets really interesting because when I was overweight, I couldn't worship God the way I can now. And it did have to do with appearance because when I started loving the way I looked, I started feeling better and I started doing a lot better. I started making much better choices in my life. So, in a much more eloquent way to say, look good, feel good, do good, your appearance matters because it affects how you show up in your life and how you treat other people, okay? In my opinion, it is easier to change your appearance in terms of investing your time, money, energy into hiring a coach or just, learning a little bit more about fitness, tracking your food, going to the gym, everything like that. It is, in my opinion, it's easier to do that. It is easier to do the things that are going to change your appearance than it is to convince yourself to be happy with the body that you're not really happy with. And this was just my personal experience. Maybe you've had a different experience, and maybe you've had a different experience. If that's the case, that's okay too. But in my experience, the body positivity movement of, I don't need to change anything about the way I look. I just need to be more content with how I look now. I think there's a time and a place to be content with how you look 100%. And we're going to really deep dive into that in this episode today. But I also think there's a time and a place to say, I know that I'm going to feel better and treat other people better when I love what I see in the mirror. So I need to change what I see in the mirror in order to show up as that woman. Okay? So much self-respect here. Wow, I'm getting really excited. All right. One of the things that sparked this episode too is I was on a call with a girl this week and she was interested in getting into coaching. So I do one-on-one fitness coaching. And so we hopped on a call to just talk about it and see her goals and where she was at and see if it would be a good fit for her. And one thing she put in her application form was, get ready for this. I've been thinking about this all week. When I was 7, I wrote down goals to be thinner, and I've never thought about anything else consistently every day since then. It would change my life to be free. I think every woman I've ever met in my entire life has some sort of negative relationship with food or body image. It's become so normal. Why? Why? Can we talk about this? I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect relationship with food. Like, I don't think so. Or like body image. Nobody's perfect. It's okay. I actually think it's unattainable to set a goal to have a perfect relationship with food, like eat the right amount every single meal all the time, always feel good, never feel bloated. Like, that's not going to happen. Okay. We're not perfect. However, it's really sad how normalized it's become. Actually, I was talking to another client about this not that long ago, because she was also saying like, even in college when she was in a sorority, it was just like a normal thing of, oh, did you eat breakfast? No, I just had coffee. Oh, good job. Me too. Like, I just had coffee. I feel really good. Anyways, going back to this client that I was on this call with. So she's amazing. I don't know if she's listening to this, but one thing I have to point out about her is she said she's a recreational therapist, and she said that she chose to be a recreational therapist because when she was younger, all she wanted to do was play, and now as a grown up, she just gets to play for her job all day. I fell in love with her right there because that's awesome. I also love playing. I also believe that you should do the like internal work and go back to your childhood to figure out, what you want to be when you grow up. And I think that's genius. Anyways, one of the big things that she also said on the call is that she said her pastor was giving this sermon about how there are certain thorns in your life. Okay, there's a passage in Numbers, I think it's Numbers 33 or something like that, where it talks about using the analogy of like thorn as an idol in our life. So there's certain things in our life that we're idolizing that are like really just getting, it's a thorn in our life. It's a pain. It's not good. And she said food was her thorn. Like, she constantly thought about food. She didn't know when to eat, what to eat, how to eat, where to eat. Like, she always thought she was eating too much. She was like getting so far into her head, constantly thinking about food. And it was just a thorn in her life. Like, it was preventing her from being the Christian that she wanted to be. Like, it was preventing her from worshiping God the way she wanted to worship God. And this tied into some body image issues as well, which this is super relatable. I think constantly thinking about our appearance is also a huge thorn. I think it prevents us from doing the things that we want to do, especially as Christians. It prevents us from showing up in the way that we want to show up. So another thing that she said was one of her goals: to not wake up and think about food and my body and go to sleep thinking about food and my body, to free up space in my brain to think about important things and remove idolizing food. I think we've covered how much of a pain it can be and how it can prevent you from being the woman that you want to be when you have terrible relationship with food and your body. One more thing I have to say about this client. This is really common. There are so many women out there who are so hardworking and disciplined and active, and they are Proverbs 31 women. Like, you look at them and you're like, oh, badass. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, they have it together. They work. Like, they, in the way that, in my opinion, like Proverbs 31, like, supports, and they do a great job. And it's true in the gym too. Like, they lift 5 days a week. They eat super healthy. They eat all whole foods. They do super well, but they're not seeing any changes in the way they look or the way they feel. They're not seeing the scale move down. They're not seeing the body recomp happening. Nothing's changing. This was me for years. I spent so many years working out, doing everything right, like working out. So I was in the gym for so many hours per week, like 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, eating super healthy. And I hated the way I looked. How is that fair? Like, come on, there's some sort of disconnection there. And it's just, it's so sad. Like, it breaks my heart to think about the amount of women who work so hard to be fit and healthy and still don't like the way they look. You deserve to love the way you look, especially if you are putting all this time and energy into going to the gym and eating healthy. You deserve to look in the mirror and feel so good about yourself so that you don't obsess over your appearance and then you can't serve the people in your life that you want to serve. So I started thinking more about why this is so common for women everywhere, where this comes from, why it's so hard for women to find the balance of just loving the way they look and treating their body well and then being able to, be a Proverbs 31 woman. And, I think a big part of it is it does get passed down in like social media and generations. Like, there's just a lot of bad influence out there that tends to get involved into our life. And that's kind of how we grow up with it. And then that made me think about, okay, personally, my mom had a great relationship with food. My poor relationship with food came from other places, but it just got me thinking, whatever relationship you have with food right now, you are going to pass down onto your daughter. Whatever poor relationship you have with your body right now, you are going to pass down to your future daughter. Are you okay with that? I don't know about you, but if you would have asked me that 3 years ago, I would have said no. I would have said absolutely not. There's no way I could even imagine my future daughter speaking to herself the way I used to speak to myself. Absolutely not. It would break my heart to think that my daughter would say some of these things to her. Okay, I'm going to read you some of my old journal entries from when I had, a really bad relationship with just body image and food. And I want you to listen to it and imagine your daughter telling you this, okay? Because I'm assuming you can probably relate in some way, and I want you to really get serious about the fact that realistically, your daughter's going to pick up on these things. Like, all right, so this is from January 8th, 2021. So I was 19 at the time. I'm so sick of this. Why do I only think about what I look like? Why is it all I ever think about? Every second of the day, I try to imagine what I look like from other people's point of view. I'm so sick of it. I can't take a single picture without wondering how I look in it. I'm so sick of this. I just want to not care. I don't want to spend my day wondering how I look. I don't want to spend my money or time trying to look better. I don't care. I don't want to care what people think of me, but it's so hard. It feels like it's a part of me at this point. I spend every second of the day wondering if I am fatter today than I was yesterday. Ouch. Okay. I'm done. Just let me take a picture without judging how I look. Just let me put on clothes without thinking about how they make me look. Let me wear what I want. Stop making me feel bad for eating 3 meals a day. Ouch. Stop making me feel like I'm unhealthy for eating the right amount. And God, please stop comparing me to other people. I hate it. I don't care what other people look like. Just please let me love myself inside and out. Let me fall in love with my worst angle. Yeah, it goes on for a while. Okay, one more journal entry that I'm going to read you from February 18th, 2021. The journaling prompt was, what can I be kinder towards myself for today? Oh boy, this is a big one. My body dysmorphia has just been really bad recently. I'm not sure why. Maybe I saw too many bad angles of myself. I keep telling myself I'm gaining weight. I honestly have no idea anymore. I'm sick and tired of bullying myself. I would never treat someone else this way. Everyone else looks so beautiful to me. So why do I immediately start picking myself apart every time I see my reflection? Why am I so awful to myself, and how do I stop it? The second thing I can be kinder to myself is, no, never mind. I want to keep writing about this. I didn't read these before recording this. Like, I read most of them, but I didn't read the whole thing. So that's kind of funny that I said that. I said, no, never mind. I want to keep writing about this. Okay. I literally don't care about having a good body, but for some reason I obsess over it. Huh? I don't get it. I've had this problem for years. Let's be honest. My biggest fear is gaining weight. I hate that. Why am I so scared of that? It's pathetic. But also, I'm afraid that if I stop being scared of it, I'll gain weight. My brain's funny like that. How do I be kinder to myself? How do I feel like somehow it's different because I have the capacity to change it? I feel confused. I feel ashamed. I don't feel loved. I've been listening to Scars to Your Beautiful by Lucy Carroll on repeat. I hope I can eat tonight. Oh boy. Okay, it keeps going. I wish I could eat whatever I wanted and whenever I wanted without thinking, is this too much? I shouldn't eat this. I wonder how many calories. What time should my next meal be? I shouldn't eat this unless I'm working out today. I'll just wait another hour to eat. I'm tired of hearing all these things in my head. I never know when I'm hungry. Okay, at the end I said, I was talking about how hard I am on myself and just the way I would speak to myself really negatively. And then I said, I just feel like I can take it, Like it doesn't bother me that much. I just realized I view my body the same way. Like I could be kinder to myself, but I'm not because I think I can take it. I think those bad thoughts won't affect me, but they most definitely do. Aw. All right, now listen to this journal entry. This is a more recent one. Well, not that recent, but this was after I healed my relationship with food and my body and finally reached this place of peace with my goals. Some lessons I want to talk about. Number 1, I no longer depend on feeling lean or skinny to be happy. Number 2, I don't rely on my workouts and hitting my calorie goal to make me happy. Number 3, I stopped idolizing my appearance. And then in parentheses I wrote, which is really hard because it's part of my job/identity. Okay, before I keep going, actually, wait, I'll circle back to that. Let's keep going. I gained some weight on that trip. I wrote this after a trip that I went on. I gained some weight on that trip, but the first time in my life, it's not ruining me. For the first time, I took pictures and didn't really care that much that I'm not as lean as I used to be. It finally hit me that there's so much more to life. I no longer wake up and think about what the scale is going to say or what I look like in the mirror or hitting my calorie goal. I wake up just excited to experience the day, and my hunger is so much better. My head is clear again. I don't feel like I'm going crazy or distorted when I talk about fitness or nutrition. I'm me again. I wake up just excited to experience the day. That is so beautiful because the amount of times that I used to wake up and think, how bloated am I? How skinny do I look today? What did I eat last night again? Oh yeah, that's why I wake up feeling terrible. The fact that I have the privilege now, I worked so hard to get here, to wake up and just open my eyes and look out the window and see the sky is blue. I don't care what's going to happen today. I'm just glad I get to experience it. I'm glad I woke up again. There's the chances of us being born is 1 in 400 trillion, and I did it. So today is going to be a great day. That's how I wake up every morning now. That was a completely different topic, but it makes me really happy to see myself healed, and I really want the same for you. Like, I really want you to get to this point too. So that's why we're talking about what we're talking about today. But one thing I want to circle back to is when I said I stopped idolizing my appearance, which is really hard because it's part of my problem. It's probably part of my job/identity as a fitness coach. I have gotten to experience the most intense version of your identity is measured by what you look like. Obviously, I don't think that is true, but that's what I felt like I was teaching myself when I was starting getting into online fitness coaching and just being a fitness influencer. Like technically, your credibility, and people will tell you this, which is really sad. I don't think this is true, but again, this is what I was told. Your credibility is what you look like. Like your value comes in what you look like. Like if you don't look fit, then you're probably not that great of a coach. Like these were real thoughts in my head. And if any other fitness coach is listening, I'm sure you've had the same ones as like, oh crap, I need to look really good because otherwise people are going to think that I don't know what I'm doing. And then unfortunately that spirals into, oh, I messed up or I ate something I wasn't supposed to. I look terrible today. I am gaining weight. I am failing in life. Like that is how that gets translated. Like it becomes your identity to be fit, to look good. And then all of a sudden, if you don't look good, oh, there goes your identity. There goes your happiness. There goes your confidence. It's gone because that's how you were defining it. And I know this is true for more than just fitness coaches. Like I'm sure models or I don't know who else, anyone actually, this is true for anyone. anyone who cares a lot about what they look like starts to tie it to their appearance. So there's a second side to this everything that we've been talking about in terms of like, okay, appearances do matter. Like what you look like does make a difference. However, if you become dependent on what you look like for your happiness, all of a sudden your appearance is now dominating you and now you have a new idol. You are now idolizing your appearance over everything else. So this is where it gets really interesting because there's two sides of the coin here. On one side, if you care too much about what you look like if you start to obsess over it and make it your identity, you're idolizing it. That becomes an issue. In my opinion, a Proverbs 31 woman would not idolize the way she looks. But on the other side, if you have goals that like if you know that you would be happier in a fitter body or a different body, like if you know that there are changes that you could make that would make you happier and you're not going after it, I would say that's lukewarm. I would say that that's also not a Proverbs 31 woman because you're not taking the action that you need to in order to become the best version of yourself to serve your family, your husband, your God the way that you were meant to, the way that you are called to. God is calling you to something and you are choosing not to go after it. So really interesting paradox here. So how do we find the middle? I'll tell you how. My current fitness goals are to become as fertile, strong, capable, and mentally unbreakable as possible. And all of this ties into like fitness. Like I'm going to dive into the actual workouts and nutrition and habits that are, I think, that align with being a Proverbs 31 woman in terms of like, okay, appearance does matter. Like we're going to, get you into a body you love. But also it's not going to become obsessive. Okay. We're going to learn how to eat healthy really, really well. We're going to learn how to track your food and get all these nutrients in and learn a lot about nutrition, but not become obsessive over it to the point where it's dominating us. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Okay. Personally, my top priority right now is fertility. Like I want to have really, really healthy babies. Okay. I want to be able to pride myself on like, I treated my body with so much respect in my 20s that I now am going to be a Proverbs 31 woman in terms of I'm going to be strong, I'm going to be fertile, I'm going to have great, great sleep habits. I'm going to wake up refreshed every morning so I can serve my family. I'm going to love the way I look and feel every single morning, or at least try. And it's okay if I don't always. Like, again, we're not perfect, but like that's my goal. And I'm going to know how to eat that's best for me and my body in the most like holistic way possible. So I'm going to give you the exact workouts that I'm doing in order to live my life this way because I've been lifting weights for about 5 years. So I've been lifting for a really long time and I've gone through every split you could possibly imagine. Like I've tried everything. And one of my favorites personally is like 2 leg days and 2 upper body days. And, I could go into depth on how I split that into like glutes, hamstrings, quads, posterior chain, anterior chain, movements that put you in a lengthened position versus a shortened position. Like I can go so far in depth on this and there's a bunch of science behind it. I have my degree in kinesiology. So I like there's a lot that I could go into here, but whoever's listening to this, I wish I could give you like a custom workout program. Well, you can sign up for coaching if you want, but like I wish I could just on this podcast give you your exact custom program, like to explain to you like where you're at with your goals and whether or not you need to be on a program that needs to prioritize gaining muscle or leaning out or whatever. So unfortunately I can't do that because everyone is different and I can't just give a generic program, but what I can do is I'll give you my programming. So if you go look in the description, there is going to be instructions on how to get the programming that I'm doing right now in order to like get to this goal of focusing on doing the things that you need to do in order to make sure your hormones are like absolutely primed. It's a really fun way to train. And then I'm also, eating a lot of things like okay, I'll put all of this in a PDF and you can go download it. But like I'm eating a lot of like eggs and grass-fed beef and a lot of like really healthy fat sources and a lot of different things. I'll put it all in a PDF for you. Go to the Instagram account of this podcast. It's called The Invitation Podcast and DM me the phrase P31. Okay. It'll auto send you the PDF that has my entire like workout split for these goals and foods and like meal ideas that I'm eating. So if you're interested in like training in a similar way, go DM me that and it'll like automatically send it to you. Just make sure you follow the podcast first because sometimes the automation doesn't work if you don't follow it first. So make sure you follow the podcast and then DM me that and then you'll get the whole PDF. Anyways, all of that to say, whatever fitness goal that you do choose, just remember that you're going to have to live the life that is required in order to get to that fitness goal. So be really smart about the goals you're choosing. Don't choose to be as lean as possible. Don't choose that, because then you're going to have to live the life that is required to do that. And I don't know about you, but I don't think you want to do that. Like I don't want to do that. Okay? I don't want to be as lean as possible, because I wanna be able to go on an impulsive midnight ice cream run with my husband one day. Like, I wanna be able to impulsively, like, eat an entire pint of ice cream one night if I want to. Wow, I just mentioned ice cream twice. I might be craving ice cream tonight. I wanna be able to go to Italy and eat pasta and not worry about what it's gonna do for my goal of being as lean as possible, because that's just not the life I wanna live. Um and I think it's good to admit this. Like, I think it's really healthy, especially as a woman, to say, like, "Oh, I'm not trying to be as lean as possible. Like, I'm actually trying to get stronger." So, try this out if you haven't, like, really put boundaries on your goals before. It's really helpful. Same thing with your workout split. Like, don't set the goal to hit every single workout every single day for 75 days in a row. Okay, now this might get a little bit controversial. I'm not a huge fan of 75 hard, because I think it's so much better to just learn how to add these habits in sustainably for the rest of your life, rather than go really hard for 75 days, be as perfect as possible, and then do whatever you want after. I know that's not everyone's approach, but that tends to be the results that I see from 75 hard. But actually, I've heard a lot of success stories of 75 hard as well. Anyways, going back to what we were just talking about, don't set the goal to, again, like, be perfect, because you're never gonna reach it, and then you're just gonna disappoint yourself, and then you're gonna give up, and then you have to start from ground zero all over again. I don't want you to start from ground zero. I don't want you to have to restart your fitness journey every Monday. I really don't want you to do that. So stop setting goals that are causing that. Stop setting goals that are making it so hard for you to stay consistent and on track that you can't stay motivated. Okay? Put boundaries on your goals. All right, we're gonna turn to the Bible now. I know I actually haven't read anything from Proverbs 31 in this podcast, because I didn't really want this to be an episode that was like, okay, verse um verse 25 says, "Strength and dignity are her clothing. You should be strong." Like, okay, you can go read Proverbs 31 on your own time. What I want to talk about here was my personal experience of how I literally could not become a Proverbs 31 woman with the relationship with food and body image that I had, and I wanted to fix it, and I wanted to show you how to do the same. So, um, I do wanna turn to scripture, though. There's a couple passages I do wanna read. First thing is 1 Corinthians 6:12 says, "All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything." This verse saved me when I was so confused on why food food got so confusing to me, because I was like, "Okay, food is fuel. Food is a good thing, like, it's our friend." But then I was constantly overeating, and I was being dominated by the food, and I was idolizing it. So I was like, How am I supposed to deal with an addiction to something that I can't cut out of my life?" This is a super interesting topic. If you do research into things like drug addiction, alcohol addiction, porn addiction, and then compare it to food addiction, it's so interesting, because you can cut out alcohol. Like, we all know, alcohol is not like AA. The whole point of the program is that you can cut it out of your life completely. Same thing with drugs. Like, you can cut out drugs completely. I'm not in any way saying that a food addiction is more intense than an alcohol addiction or anything like that. Like, not at all. But I used to get hung up on this fact that I couldn't just cut out food. Like, I could fast, but I couldn't just stop eating. So, like, how do I manage this relationship with food where, it's good for me, it's fuel, but, like, it shouldn't be controlling me? This verse is how. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything. Food isn't bad. Food is not bad, but it should never dominate you. Okay? So make nutrition choices that align with that. Being fit isn't bad. Like, being healthy and fit and loving the way you look is not bad. Caring about your appearance is not bad, but it should not dominate you. Ecclesiastes 5:10 says, "Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income." Stop wanting to be perfect. You will never be satisfied. I interchanged money with food there. Like, in my opinion, that's kind of just an analogy to say, like, okay, if you really love something that is, like, worldly, like, feeling overly full, or junk food or anything like that, or just the more addicting foods that we know we, like, probably shouldn't be eating all the time. If you really love that stuff, like, it's gonna get addicting. Like, you're never gonna feel like you have enough of it, and you'll never be satisfied. And then Philippians 4:11 through 13. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Very, very important here that you remember to be content with where you're at in life and be really proud of yourself for how far you've made it. I'm very proud of you. However, also know that you can do all things. Like, you can do more. You can be really content with the way you look right now and still be okay with the fact of like, I can go for more. Okay? When I had the best transformation of my life, it didn't come from a place of I hate myself. It more came from a place of I'm not happy with how I look, but I have so much self-respect and I love myself so much that I know I can do more. Like, I'm content, like, I'm fine. Like, I know God loves me even though I'm 20 pounds heavier than I want to be, but like, I can do more. I can improve. I can grow. Okay. Now I want to leave you with some journaling prompts to really, really make sure that you put this into action. Like, take this into your life, use it. First thing, what are your thorns? Like, what's standing in between you and showing up as the brightest beacon for God and His Word? What are your thorns? List them out. How much time, energy, and money would you invest into your health if you really believed that you were more precious than rubies? One of the very first verse of the passage on you know, being a woman who fears the Lord is that she's more precious than rubies. If you really saw yourself that way, like, how would you change the way you approach your fitness journey? I love this question. I would I mean, I have come to a place where I now do see myself as more precious than rubies, and so I invest a lot of time, energy, and money into my health. Like, it, it's important to me. It should be important to you. You are more precious than rubies. Go believe it. Go live it. And then last one, next time you feel lost, whether it's about whether or not you should eat a certain food or whether or not, you should make this decision with something in your fitness life or just in your personal life, ask yourself, will this choice build my self-respect or break it? Is this something that a Proverbs 31 woman would do? That question of will this build my self-respect or break it was so helpful for me when I started getting really confused on whether or not I should be eating more or less or what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat. And just taking it back to a place of, will it build your self-respect or will it break it? Will it honor God or will it not? So helpful. And I know everything that I said in this podcast is easier said than done. Like, truly, I had the transformation myself. I know it's not easy. So if there's anything I can do for you, please reach out. Please leave a comment. Please DM me. Like, I am here for you. I want this. My whole mission with this podcast is to invite you into a new way of thinking and into a life where you believe that you can become the best version of yourself, the brightest beacon for God, and you can do it in such a fun and enjoyable way. You can love the process that turns you into the best version of yourself. And I want to show you how. So stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this is your invitation to become the healthiest, fittest, strongest version of yourself in order to worship God, to keep His commandments, and to serve your family well for the rest of your life. Thank you for listening. That was such a cool episode.